Colors, canvas, creativity. That is the tagline of my online art tutorial. If you're bored, if you're tired, or if you just want to relax, all you need some canvas, colors, and a lot of creativity. Now I have done a lot of art and craft with you all, and it was a little simpler version of what exactly I want to teach. From today, I will be increasing the difficulty level of our artwork. Now what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn this beautiful sunset painting, which is for beginners. Namaste, I'm Kala and you're watching Kala Art Online. If you're someone new to my channel, do consider subscribing if you like my tutorials, as mine is an online art tutorial where I just don't teach you all how to draw, but before every class I give a simple explanation or some information about the work which we are going to do, and then I start the class. So if you like my channel, do consider subscribing. And for my regular subscribers and friends, thank you all for being a part of my journey. So let's get started with today's class, which is a very beautiful class on drawing a beautiful sunset with acrylics. So if you can see, this is a very simple artwork. Here I will be explaining to you all how to draw the shadows, the highlights, and how to blend in the colors. So take out your materials and let's get started for today's class. So what will you need? I have taken a watercolor paper, some acrylic colors, brushes, and a cup of water. Let's get started. So the first thing, let's see what we'll need. I'll need a few flat brushes, and I'm using only the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, and I'm going to use white for lightening the colors. So this is the first step. Now let me take the colors on my palette, and before that, somewhere here, let me just draw a line to show the horizon. So now that all my paints are out, the red, the blue, the yellow, the primary colors, and the white. So now let's get started with the first step. So I will start. Now this sunset which we are going to do is generally blending of the colors right from the top all the way to below. Now acrylic dries fast, so you have to work quickly, and for a beginner it could be a little bit challenging, but don't worry, be patient, we'll be able to do it. You just need a small cup of water beside you for dipping the brush once a while, and of course I have a spray bottle also, because if you're working for quite some time, these paints tend to dry. You can just splatter some water on this. So let's get started. So now I need a purple. You must be aware that two primary colors make a secondary color. So a red and a blue you mix, you're going to get a purple. But I need a lighter shade of purple. So what am I going to do? Just wet my brush. Let me take the blue, a little bit of red, and some white. So I'm going to start with, wow, this is a beautiful color. So let's start painting on top. Now this is just the first layer we are doing. We will be adding 2 to 3 more layers. So even if you feel it's not turning out the way you want, don't worry, just keep practicing. Here is the beautiful purple. So here, now as it goes down, the color is going to change. Now I'm going to make this slightly lighter. Here we go, a little bit of red. So I'm just changing it into a bit of a pink as it goes down. Yes, that's a nice color. Dip the brush in water. And you have to work quickly. Acrylic dries fast. Now a little more. I'm using the same palette. If you can see, I'm not changing the same place. I'll be using all the colors. Just a dash of blue, making it a little more lighter. To get a beautiful orange with this red, I'll add a dash of yellow. So the next is going to be a bit of an orange. Now this is just my first layer. Once this dries, we'll make again a second layer. So let me keep working on this. Now one mistake generally you might tend to do in acrylic is add a lot of water to the paint. That is something which you should never do. That we do for watercolors, but for acrylic, the amount of water you mix with the paint should be less. So now finally here, so we just let this dry. This itself looks so beautiful. Okay, so now let's concentrate on the water. So the water, I will start with a lighter shade. So I'm just using the same place, the same thing here, a dash of red. So this is the line of the water. As I mentioned, this is the first layer. Now I will show it in 2 layers. Now if you are not satisfied with 2 layers, you can always increase the layers till you are satisfied with your work. So from here is the sky with the sunset, and this is going to be the water where we show the reflection. We work a little faster. Now I need to get this purple down here. So for purple, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, just a dash of white, a dash of water, a little more, and here. So here, this is done. This is the first layer. We just let it dry. So now that the first layer is dried, let me go in for the same thing we're going to do, the second layer. So now that this is dry completely, this is the base coat, it's done. Now here I'm going to do a sun. Now we are not going to draw the sun like this. I'm using a small flat brush. And you can take a very small one also. So what we are going to do, we are just going to show a kind of a blur around the sun. So for that, let me take some white here, a little bit of yellow and a dash of red. Oops, that's too much. So we are just going to take whatever is there at the backdrop here. We'll just continue with that. So how we are going to do the sun? It's very simple. We are just going to blend in these colors. Let me just show you how we're going to do it. Now you can also use your finger just to blend in the colors. Now finally inside this I'll use my smaller brush, a little bit of So now that the base is done here with the sun, a little bit of shade around the sun to show the glow, reflection of the water. Now we are going to draw some highlights here on the water. We are going to make 3 shades of this. One is very light. The second one I'll make it slightly, I can make it here. I'll make it slightly darker. Okay. So this is the darker shade and that is the lighter. Now, starting with the lighter shade, very few lines we are going to draw parallel to the horizon. So these are going to be thin, and as they go down, we are going to make them slightly thicker. Let me just darken this a bit. And we continue. So as it is going up, it is going to get slightly thinner. Okay, so now that we have just given the waves, this already looks so beautiful. We are going to go in for the highlights on the water. Now there are 2 types of highlights. One will be the reflection of this setting sun on the water, which will be very bright, and the second set of highlights will be this color of orange on the water. So first let's start with this. Now this kind of a color I need to get, so I'll take some white. My palette is quite messy, but that is okay. And a little bit of yellow. Let's try to get a color somewhere similar to this. Now for this highlight, or for this shadow, let me say, you try to put it on top of this darkened shadow. So this is the highlight, the first one, which will go on top of this darkened highlight. So let me start from here. Oh, see what a beautiful color. This is so beautiful. Now don't take it all the way to the corner, because this is the highlight which we are showing of just the sun. I guess this is enough. So this is the first set. Now let's go to the highlight of the sun. For that I'll take, where shall I put? Some white. You can see how I've messed up my palette, but it's perfectly okay. Can just be washed off. So for this, You will use the finest of the brush. Okay, this is the most important and the most beautiful part. Let me just darken the sun a bit. The highlights. Don't overdo this. We start with a few thin lines here. And now as it goes down, we are going to increase. So some highlights on top of the water here. That's enough. Let's not overdo this. This is enough. A little more near the sun, and as it goes away, fewer at a distance. So this is our completed work. Now let this dry and then we will remove the tape. I've removed the tape and this is how the watercolor painting is going to look. It looks so beautiful. I hope you all have enjoyed today's class, and before I sign off, the quote for today. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. Aristotle. This is such a beautiful quote. I hope you're all enjoying this journey with me, and keep watching me week after week where I start teaching you all different forms of art. If you have any comments, any suggestions, do write in the comment box and I will definitely get back to you. Thank you all once again.